These videos are educational in nature and are designed to help people over 21 who smoke cigarettes switch to a less harmful alternative.
All right, well, what's up, everybody? It's GrimmGreen back here, and today I wanted to talk about pods. I use a lot of pods, and over the years, I've sort of, just through what I used to call tribal knowledge, just exchanging of ideas and information, over the years, I've kind of just picked up a few things, tips, and tricks that I do so that I can get the most out of these pods as far as battery life, as far as longevity and things like this. So these are my roughly, 5 things that I do to get the most out of my pods. First thing I always do, if I have the ability to on the battery, is lower the wattage just a little bit lower than what the manufacturer recommends. A lot of these pods have that sort of smart feature where I drop in a pod, sort of auto adjust the wattage for me. That's fine, and I can absolutely vape like that, but if I want to get maybe a little bit more longevity life out of this pod, I just turn the wattage down slightly, very slightly, 2 to 3, 4, maybe 5 watts if I can, and that just helps the pod last longer, won't burn out quite as fast. I don't have the ability to do that on every pod, and there's pods like the G4 Mini that's it. I can't adjust anything. But like I said, on the pods that I can, I try to dial back the power just a little bit. I am sorry. I need to stop bumping the bottom of this microphone. I've already done it like 16 times in this video, and I'm pretty sure it's going to happen maybe 10 to 15 times more. I'm doing my best, and I'm sorry to the headphone users. Back to the other guy who can't stop bumping the microphone. Yeah, back-to-back editing, guys. How about that? So another thing that I do that I forgot to mention is when I'm filling up a brand new pod like I am right now with this Nexlim, or not Nexlim, just regular Slim. Well, this one came from a blister pack, so there's no sticker on the bottom. But if there's a sticker on the bottom, I just take 2 very light, very quick little, and that really gets the liquid in there and saturates it well. If there's no sticker on the bottom, I do the same thing with my finger over the bottom. That's it. 2 tiny little puffs. Bubbles should happen. Liquid goes in. Success. Just vape it right away. Thanks. This has been editing, guys. Back to the other guy. Cycling the cotton is something that I talk about pretty frequently with much more hobbyist style vaping, RDAs and RTAs and things like this, where I call cycling the cotton. And that is where I will vape this RDA as dry as I possibly can, leaving almost no moisture on the coils, almost no moisture on the wicks. It's important, I think, for longevity's sake, for cotton to not constantly be submerged in liquid. So every so often with a pod, I will vape it dry and then give it like another 1 or 2 toots just to get that very last liquid out of the cotton. I'll even let it sit for a little bit before I fill it up, and I feel, at least in my experiences, this has made pods last longer. Now, this tip I learned from a subscriber. Hang on, let me find it. Where did you go? Oh yeah, Carlton Hobbs. Feels like ages ago Carlton Hobbs dropped this golden nugget on me, and that is any crack to fill top, always keep these tips when I throw away the pod, because these tips can become cracked, they can become broken. I tend to bite them and chew on them and they break. Or sometimes if I have a full yard sale and I just drop my pod on the ground and the pod comes flying out, this tip will just come flying out. It'll get lost somewhere. The pod's useless now. But not if I saved one of these tips from a prior cross pod. I can just pow, like nothing even happened. I thought that was genius. And so now down in my pods, I have a very small collection of a few different crack to fill tips just in case. And lastly, I always get a lot of questions about liquid, salt versus non-salt, freebase. What are we doing? PG/VG, nic levels. The only thing that matters and the only thing that I have found to get better life out of these pods is 50/50 PG/VG liquids. Thinner liquids will always work much better in pods. They will wick much better in pods. Once upon a time, with those first few Caliburn releases, I used to use 70/30 liquids in these, and it was sometimes look, just a little bit too thick. It wasn't wicking as much as I wanted it to. So the salt nicotine versus non-salt nicotine argument doesn't really matter. All that really matters is the recipe. Thinner liquids always going to work better in a pod. And I guess lastly, this is something I say in literally all of my pod reviews, but I like to keep my play area clean. Every time I fill it up, squeeze the bottle, I wipe all this off. I'll sometimes even put this on, pull the pod out, just wipe it all off. Give it a real good wipe down. Just keeps any liquid that might be residual hanging out somewhere from getting on your hand and getting smeary and getting greasy and getting everywhere. And just with these, these good practices, I guess I would call them, I can get miles and miles out of these pods. And honestly, if you tell me your whatever sneaky little tricks that you have to get the most out of the pod. I didn't mention sweeteners, but sometimes overtly sweetened juices will also shorten the life of those coils inside that pod. And I guess lastly, any human that is using a combustible tobacco product should be replacing that combustion with vaporizing, and it's not even close anymore. The science is rigidly crystal clear on this. There is a universe of less harmful nicotine products on the market. In the description of this video, I'm putting links to just science, just education. This has been a GrimmGreen video. Let's stay cigarette smoke free every single day.
It's like 10:30 and I'm just gonna smoke, so